Rain lashed the canopy above, hammering the shattered wreck of the Ceralian transport. Flames hissed in the mud as plasma cells fizzled out, casting dying blue light across the jungle clearing. Lieutenant Ryan Vex stumbled through the smoke, rifle slung over his shoulder, heart pounding. His HUD flickered, picking up a heat signature buried under debris. Come on, he muttered, tossing aside a warped hull panel. There, half buried in wreckage, a figure, motionless. Green skin shimmered slick with rain, armor cracked along her ribs. A Ceralian. Alive, he whispered. He dropped to his knees, fingers against her neck. A faint pulse. He cursed under his breath. She was one of them. The elite. He could see the etched crest on her breastplate, the House of Thalron. Royal lineage. Armor sealed tight from neck to heel, standard for Ceralian nobility. But her breathing, it wasn't right. Ryan leaned closer, listening. Her chest barely rose. The armor was airtight, designed for zero-atmosphere conditions. If the inner oxygen reserves failed. Damn it, he whispered. She's suffocating. Protocol said leave her. She wasn't one of theirs. But his hands were already moving, fingers working the seal at her collarbone. The override release was there, discreet, ancient in design. He hesitated. Removing a Ceralian noble's armor wasn't just breaking protocol. It was sacrilege. A personal violation. Equivalent to stripping someone bare in public. But her pulse was fading. He tapped his comms. Medical priority 1. Ceralian female armor failure. No time. I'm taking it off. Static answered. The storm had jammed all channels. He drew a breath and released the first clasp. The armor hissed, depressurizing. A faint whimper escaped her lips. Stay with me, he said, voice low. Don't you die on me now. He peeled back the breastplate, careful and swift. Beneath it, her body trembled, cold from shock. Her skin glistened a smooth, shimmering green, almost translucent in the rain. No burns. No broken bones. Just oxygen deprivation. He yanked free the arm guards, then the neck brace. Her hair spilled out, white like starlight, matted with dirt and ash. Her eyes fluttered. Then she gasped, sharp, desperate, animal. Easy, he said, holding her steady as she jolted upright. You're all right. Her hands flailed, weakly pushing him. She stared at her exposed torso, then at him. Horror flared in her silver eyes. What have you done? She rasped. You couldn't breathe, Ryan said. Your seal failed. You were dying. She looked down at the armor, now lying half dismantled in the mud. Rain pooled in the grooves of her exposed suit lining. I had no choice, he added. You touched the inner crest, she said, voice trembling. It was that or let you suffocate. She looked away, teeth clenched. Her breathing was shallow but steady now. I should kill you, she whispered. He leaned back, unshaken. I'd rather you didn't. I just saved your life. Silence stretched between them, filled only by the hiss of rain and distant thunder. She winced as she sat up, pressing a hand to her side. What's your name? He asked finally. She hesitated, then said with tight dignity, Thalier of House Varan. He raised an eyebrow. Royal blood, then. And you are? Lieutenant Ryan Vex. Alliance Peace Force. Human. She studied him, mud-slicked, rain-soaked, armor-dented. Not a noble. Not even clean. But his eyes met hers without fear. I should be dead, she said flatly. You're welcome. Another beat of silence passed. Thalier's voice softened, barely audible. Do you know what you've done, human? I saved your life. No, she said bitterly. You stripped a crest-bearer without consent. That alone can spark bloodright. Ryan met her stare evenly. You'd rather I watched you die. She said nothing. Behind them, something cracked in the jungle. Ryan's hand went to his sidearm, scanning the tree line. No time to argue, he said. We need shelter. Your wreck's compromised. Mine's 2 clicks east. Can you walk? Thalier nodded stiffly, pulling the remnants of her armor back over her frame with trembling hands. Ryan stood, offering her a hand. She hesitated. Then, slowly, she took it. Her fingers were cold, her grip weak but present. They moved together through the undergrowth, Ryan clearing the path with one hand while keeping the other near his weapon. Thalia limped behind him, each step deliberate. He glanced back once. "You're lucky," he said. Her eyes narrowed. "Why?" "Most soldiers wouldn't hesitate to leave a Ceralian behind." "Then why didn't you?" He paused, meeting her gaze beneath the canopy. "Because once, I let someone die when I could have acted. I don't make that mistake twice." She didn't reply, but her expression shifted just enough. A shadow of understanding crossed her face. As they pressed forward through the rain, the jungle swallowed the wreckage behind them. The war was over. But something far more fragile had just begun. The jungle didn't sleep. Insects chirred through the mist, and thick vines dripped with rain as Ryan helped Thalia into the abandoned survey shelter. The pod was old, left over from a mining outpost before the war. But it was dry. Intact. Barely. Ryan kicked the door shut behind them and activated the emergency heater. Soft orange light filled the cramped space, casting shadows against the metal walls. Thalia eased down onto a supply crate. Her breathing was steady now, but her posture was rigid, coiled like a spring. Ryan knelt by a medical kit and began pulling out supplies. "You'll be sore," he said, breaking the silence. "Oxygen loss like that hits hard. Might be internal bruising." "I'm not fragile," she muttered. He glanced up. "Didn't say you were." She unfastened a cracked piece of her armor and dropped it beside her. The gesture felt like a challenge. He didn't rise to it. Ryan pulled on gloves and reached for a scanner. "May I?" She hesitated, then nodded once. As he ran the device across her ribs, a soft hum filled the pod. The scanner beeped and displayed data in Terran glyphs. "Hairline crack in the second rib," he said. "Nothing dangerous, but you'll feel it." Thalia flinched slightly as he applied a biofoam patch to her side. His hands were steady, gentle. Her gaze drifted toward him. "You're not what I expected from a human soldier." "Disappointed?" She almost smiled. "Surprised." He sat back on his heels. "Most Ceralians expect monsters. We were told you had no honor. That you feed on conquest." "Well," he said dryly, "you're not wrong about the conquest part. We just prefer the kind where people volunteer." Her brow furrowed. "Is that humor?" Ryan shrugged. "Close enough." Silence fell again, but it wasn't uncomfortable. The pod's heater ticked faintly, and outside, the rain softened to a whisper. Thalia broke the quiet. "You knew what it meant, didn't you? Stripping my armor." He met her eyes. "I had some idea." "Why do it?" "You couldn't breathe." "That doesn't answer the question." Ryan sighed, running a hand through his soaked hair. "I didn't do it for a political statement. Or defiance. I did it because I've seen enough bodies to last a lifetime. I wasn't adding yours to the list." Her eyes lingered on him, searching for something. Then she asked, "Who was it?" He blinked. "What?" "The one you couldn't save." He didn't answer at first. Then, "Tari. My sister." Her expression softened. "She was just a tech officer. Got caught in a supply raid. I was 20 meters away and too slow to reach her. I still see her sometimes. In dreams. And every time I hesitate." Thalia lowered her gaze. "My brother died in the breach at Halo's Ridge. I was meant to stand beside him, but I was reassigned. He died alone. I've carried that ever since." They sat in silence, two soldiers from opposite worlds, sharing the weight of ghosts. "Your armor," Ryan said at last. "It's more than protection, isn't it?" She nodded. "It's a symbol. Identity. Only our bondmates or kin are allowed to see beneath it. When you opened it, you took something sacred." He exhaled slowly. "If there was another way." "There wasn't," she said simply. "I would have died. And I know that." Their eyes met again, and something passed between them, not forgiveness, not yet. But an understanding. "You humans," she said softly, "you touch so easily. You bleed without shame. It's unsettling. We don't see feeling as weakness." In my world, it is. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. And what do you believe? She looked away. I don't know anymore. A sudden noise cut through the moment. Metal creaked outside, followed by a splash of footsteps in the mud. Ryan stood instantly, drawing his weapon. He motioned for silence and moved to the door, ears straining. Another footstep. Close. Deliberate. He turned back to her. We've got company. She stood, wobbling slightly, but drew a small blade from her belt. Even wounded, she looked regal, like someone born to command. You still have fight in you, he asked. I'm Ceralian. I never lost it. They held position as the steps passed. Then, silence again. Ryan lowered his weapon slightly. Might have been wildlife. Or a scout, she said. He nodded. Either way, we can't stay here long. Thalia pressed her palm to the wall. There's an extraction point 7 clicks north. Ceralian protocol. I can activate a beacon if we reach it. Won't they shoot me on sight? She hesitated. Not if I speak for you. You do that. She met his eyes. You saved my life. I don't forget debts. Ryan allowed a small smile. I'll take that as progress. She nodded once, then looked down at her fractured armor. I need to travel light, she said, pulling off the last of the ruined plating. No more ceremonial shields. Looks better without it anyway, he said before he could stop himself. She gave him a look, but this time, there was no venom in it. Just a faint, curious warmth. As they stepped back into the rain, the shelter behind them fell dark once more. They walked forward, side by side, neither fully trusting, yet neither turning away. Not anymore. Branches snapped ahead. Ryan froze, motioning Thalia behind the thick tree trunk. Mud caked their boots, and mist curled low around the roots. It had been hours since they left the shelter, and now, just short of the Ceralian extraction beacon, something was hunting them. Visual, she whispered. 2 forms, he murmured, adjusting his visor. Thermal says they're armed. Humanoid. Her face tightened. Rogue patrol. Not mine. Yours. She didn't answer. The figures stopped just beyond the ridge. One raised a scanner, sweeping the trees. Ryan leaned in. If they're Ceralian, why are they tracking you? Her reply was low. Because I didn't follow orders. He looked at her. What orders? To sabotage the peace mission. Feed intel back to Elrose. Confirm human weakness. Ryan's jaw tensed. So you were a spy. I was assigned to be, she corrected. But I saw wounded human soldiers treating Ceralians in triage tents. No hate. Just help. That didn't match what I was told. You flipped. I woke up. The patrol split. One moved toward them, scanning the brush. We move now, Ryan said, gripping her wrist. Quiet. West slope. Stay low. They slipped through the roots, ducking beneath wide-leafed vines, boots silent in wet soil. Thunder rolled above. The smell of ozone clung to the air. After 10 minutes, they reached a ridge, beneath it, the mouth of an old mining tunnel yawning open. Ryan gestured her inside. Hold up, she said, scanning the ground. Booby traps are common in abandoned sites. He paused. You recognize the markings? She nodded. Ceralian sigils. Meant for scavenger deterrence. Can you bypass it? Thalia knelt, fingers tracing the glyph etched into stone. Yes. If I'm careful. Ryan kept watch while she deactivated the trap 1 wire at a time, her hand steady despite the pain in her ribs. The trap clicked. Harmless. He exhaled. You're good. I was raised to be perfect, she said without pride. They moved into the tunnel, the darkness swallowing them. Ryan activated a light strip, casting a pale glow along the walls. Dust danced in the beam. We rest here, she asked. For now. We're ahead of them. Thalia sat against the wall, stretching her legs slowly. Her breath shook once, silent, controlled. You're hurt worse than you let on, Ryan said. She didn't deny it. Pain is just a messenger. I don't always listen. He lowered himself across from her, resting his rifle beside him. I should hate you, she said quietly. I get that a lot. No, she continued. I mean, I was raised to hate your kind. Your values, your bodies, your voice. But you keep contradicting everything I believed. He met her eyes. That's how peace begins. Not with treaties. With disobedience. Thalia gave a faint laugh. That might be the most human thing I've heard. A pause lingered. Then she asked, why did you really save me? The wreck, the armor, you could have walked away. Ryan looked down. Because once you stop seeing people under the armor, it's too easy to start treating them like cargo. She tilted her head. And what do you see when you look at me now? He didn't answer right away. Then he said, someone brave enough to change her mind. Thalia's eyes searched his. The silence between them grew warm, thick with unspoken things. The storm outside rumbled distant, but coming. Then footsteps echoed through the tunnel. They both turned. 3 shapes. Tall. Armored. Cerealian. Thalia hissed, grabbing her blade. Ryan raised his rifle. Back, he called out. This tunnel's sealed. You step forward, we drop you. Laughter echoed in return. A voice answered, cold, amused. You won't shoot her, human. You don't have it in you. Ryan's jaw clenched. You'd be amazed what I've got in me. Thalia narrowed her eyes. Elrose. From the shadows stepped a tall Cerealian clad in dark armor etched with crimson. His eyes glinted like silver ice. Thalia, he said. Look what they've done to you. You sent me to betray a ceasefire, she snapped. But I found truth among the ashes. He laughed. Truth. In their lies. They use you. Just like they used your brother. You think your death will matter to them? She's not dying today, Ryan said, leveling his rifle. Elrose raised a hand. His guards fanned out. You broke the code, Thalia, he said softly. Your blood doesn't protect you anymore. She stepped forward, blade raised. Then I make a new code. Elrose moved to strike. Ryan fired. The first shot clipped a guard's shoulder, staggering him. Chaos erupted. Thalia lunged, slashing at the second, catching his thigh. Sparks flew. Elrose closed in fast. Ryan ducked, blocking his blow with his forearm, pain shooting through the limb. They grappled, Elrose strong, but Ryan relentless. Thalia stabbed upward, her blade slicing Elrose's side. He roared, striking her backhand across the face. She fell hard. Thalia. Ryan shouted, turning. And Elrose punched him square in the gut, sending him crashing into the wall. Blood filled his mouth. Vision blurred. But he stayed conscious. Elrose raised his blade toward her. Ryan crawled, grabbing his sidearm. With fading strength, he aimed and fired. The shot struck Elrose in the shoulder. Enough to stagger him. Thalia rose again, bleeding but not broken. I choose this, she growled. Together, they attacked. Ryan tackled the remaining guard while Thalia fought Elrose with everything left in her. He disarmed her. She rolled away, grabbing Ryan's fallen rifle. One shot. Straight into Elrose's chest. He crumpled. The tunnel fell silent. Ryan dropped to a knee, clutching his side. Thalia dropped the rifle and rushed to him, kneeling. Ryan, are you? I've had worse dates, he muttered, coughing a laugh. She smiled through her tears. Their hands found each other. This time, she didn't pull away. Smoke lingered in the tunnel, mixing with the scent of blood and scorched armor. Elrose's body lay sprawled in silence, his once imposing figure now still. Ryan leaned against the tunnel wall, clutching his side, breath shallow. Don't move, Thalia said sharply. He gave a faint smile. Didn't plan to. She tore fabric from what remained of her undersuit and pressed it against his wound. You've lost blood. A lot. I've had worse, he muttered. Liar. He managed a chuckle, but the pain stole the air from his lungs. Thalia worked quickly, binding the wound, hands steady despite the tremble in her shoulders. Her face was smeared with ashen blood, eyes focused. When she finally sat back, her hand lingered on his chest a moment longer than needed. You saved me, she said. You shot him, Ryan countered. I wouldn't have had the chance if you didn't stand between us. Their eyes locked. Do all humans risk themselves for strangers? She asked. He shook his head. Only the ones we don't want to lose. A silence settled, not heavy, just full. She rose slowly and retrieved Elrose's wristband. Embedded in the ornate metal was a private signal transponder. This can reach the Ceralian Council directly, she said. To report his death. To stop what he started. She looked up. He wasn't alone. Others follow his doctrine. They'll claim he was murdered by a human unless I speak first. You sure they'll believe you? She hesitated. No. But I'll be the first noble to try. Ryan pushed himself upright with a wince. Then let's give them a message they can't ignore. She tapped the transponder. A low hum filled the air, then a high-pitched ping. Transmission sent. He watched her. You just declared war on your own house. She nodded. And maybe I found something worth the cost. Outside, the storm had broken. Pale sunlight filtered through the leaves above the tunnel entrance. They emerged together into the light. The jungle was eerily quiet. The silence felt like a ceasefire between two worlds. Thalia paused, then unfastened the crest pendant from her collar and held it out to Ryan. He frowned. What's this? A symbol of fealty, she said. In my culture, it's given only to those we trust completely. He blinked. Are you sure? I've never been more certain. He accepted it slowly, closing his fingers around the symbol. So what now? She looked toward the clearing where the beacon shimmered faintly in the air. They'll come for me. Questions, trials, maybe exile. You going with them? She turned to him. Only if you'll be waiting. He smiled. I don't do waiting. I do walking beside. She took a breath, then nodded. Then let's walk. Minutes later, the extraction ship pierced the clouds, descending fast. Sleek, silver, unmistakably Ceralian. It touched down with a low hum, ramps unfolding. 3 figures stepped out, diplomatic guards, weapons lowered but ready. One approached, voice filtered through a translator. Lady Thalia. Status? She straightened. Elrose is dead. He attempted to violate the peace. This human saved my life. He is to be protected under my name. The guard paused, uncertain. We weren't informed. You are now. The guard nodded and motioned them forward. Ryan stayed behind for a second. Thalia turned. You coming? He nodded. Yeah. I just realized something. What? I was sent here to recover data. Rescue survivors. That mission's done. And now? He looked at her, holding up her crest. Now, I'm following something else. She smiled, stepped back down the ramp, and took his hand. They ascended the ramp together. As the hatch closed, the wind stirred the leaves, carrying away the smoke, the silence, and the war that had nearly ended them both. From 2 empires built on pride, 2 soldiers had chosen something new. Not peace signed by leaders, but a vow made between hearts. And sometimes, that's where empires truly begin.